Most Americans believe financial freedom is about earning more money. They think if they get a better job, a promotion, or a higher salary, everything will finally fall into place. But the truth is uncomfortable. Income alone has never created financial freedom. And that misunderstanding is exactly why so many people stay stuck. From the moment people enter adulthood, they are placed on a financial path they never consciously chose. Go to school, get good grades, take student loans, find a job, upgrade your lifestyle. Repeat. This system rewards obedience, not independence. And while it keeps society functioning, it quietly works against financial freedom. The first trap is dependency on a single income. Most Americans rely entirely on one paycheck. When that paycheck stops, everything stops. Rent, food, healthcare, bills, nothing pauses. Financial freedom requires control over time and income, but a job trades time for money at a fixed rate. No matter how high the salary is, time is limited. When income is tied directly to hours worked, freedom becomes mathematically impossible. Another major issue is lifestyle inflation. As income goes up, spending goes up even faster. A raise doesn't create wealth. It creates a bigger house, a newer car, more subscriptions, and higher monthly obligations. People don't feel richer, they feel more pressure. The system encourages this behavior because consumer spending fuels the economy. But for individuals, it creates a financial treadmill, where running faster never leads anywhere. Debt is the second invisible cage. Credit cards, car loans, student loans, and mortgages are normalized to the point where being debt-free feels unrealistic. Many Americans don't ask whether they can afford something, they ask whether the monthly payment fits. This mindset shifts focus away from ownership and toward obligation. Debt forces future income to pay for past decisions, limiting flexibility and opportunity. Student loan debt is one of the most powerful examples. Millions of people start adult life already behind. Their early income doesn't build wealth, it services debt. This delays investing, entrepreneurship, and risk-taking. When your financial future is already spoken for, freedom becomes a distant idea rather than a practical goal. Then there's the lack of financial education. Schools teach math, history, and science, but rarely explain how money actually works. Taxes, investing, compound interest, inflation, and cash flow are learned to latter found through painful mistakes. Without this knowledge, people follow advice that sounds safe but is financially limiting, like saving money without investing or relying entirely on retirement accounts they don't control. Inflation quietly makes this worse. Even when people save money, its purchasing power decreases over time. Prices rise faster than wages, meaning people work harder just to maintain the same lifestyle. What feels like progress is often just survival. This constant pressure leaves no mental space to think long-term or strategically. Fear also plays a huge role. Many Americans fear instability more than they desire freedom. Starting a business, investing, or building something independent feels risky compared to a steady paycheck even if that paycheck barely covers expenses. The system rewards predictability, not initiative. As a result, people choose security that slowly drains them over uncertainty that could set them free. Another reason financial freedom remains rare is time poverty. After long work hours, commuting, and responsibilities, most people are exhausted. They don't have the energy to learn new skills, build side income, or plan strategically. This exhaustion isn't accidental. A tired population is easier to manage and less likely to challenge the status quo. Social pressure reinforces all of this. Society celebrates consumption, not ownership. Success is displayed through spending, not financial independence. People feel pressure to keep up, even if it means staying broke behind the scenes. Very few openly talk about savings, investments, or cash flow. Financial struggles are hidden, making everyone feel like they're failing alone. Taxes also shape behavior more than people realize. Employees pay taxes before they touch their money. Business owners and investors often pay taxes after strategic planning. This difference alone creates a massive gap in long-term outcomes. Yet most people are never shown how to legally structure income in smarter ways. Perhaps the biggest reason financial freedom is rare is mindset. Many Americans are taught to think in terms of survival, not leverage. They focus on cutting expenses instead of increasing value. They trade hours instead of building systems. They chase comfort instead of control. Freedom requires delayed gratification, long-term thinking, and a willingness to look different in the short term. Financial freedom isn't about luck or intelligence. It's about understanding the rules of the game most people never learn. And as long as people keep playing by rules designed for stability instead of independence, the outcome remains predictable. Most Americans don't fail financially because they are lazy. They fail because they follow a system that was never designed to make them free. Financial freedom becomes possible only when people stop following default paths and start asking uncomfortable questions. Questions like, why am I working so hard but still feeling behind? Why does more income not translate into more peace? Why does the future feel uncertain no matter how much I earn? The answers are not motivational quotes or hustle culture slogans. They are structural. The system rewards those who understand leverage and punishes those who rely only on labor. Labor has a ceiling. Ownership does not. One of the biggest shifts happens when income is separated from time. This is where most Americans struggle. Jobs pay based on presence, not results. Even hyping careers eventually hit a limit. There are only so many hours in a day. Financial freedom requires assets that earn whether you are present or not. Businesses, investments, intellectual property, and scalable systems create income that is not tied to the clock. But building these takes patience. And patience is rare in a culture built on instant gratification. People want quick wins, fast money, and overnight success. When results don't appear immediately, they quit. The truth is that most financially free people spent years building quietly while appearing average on the surface. Risk is another misunderstood concept. Most people think risk means instability. In reality, relying on a single paycheck is one of the riskiest financial positions possible. When one source controls everything, losing it becomes catastrophic. Diversified income reduces risk, but it requires stepping outside comfort zones. Another factor holding people back is identity. Many Americans tie their identity to their job title. Who they are becomes what they do. This makes it emotionally difficult to pursue something outside that role. When work defines self-worth, freedom feels like a threat instead of a goal. The media also plays a role. Financial success is often portrayed as either extreme wealth or total failure, with nothing in between. This discourages realistic progress. People assume if they can't become rich quickly, it's not worth trying. In reality, financial freedom is about control, not luxury. It's about choice, not status. Even investing is misunderstood. Many people believe investing is only for the wealthy, or too risky to start early. Others rely entirely on retirement accounts they cannot access for decades. While these tools have value, they do not provide flexibility. True freedom requires liquid options and the ability to move capital strategically. Another silent barrier is the comfort of familiarity. People stay in financial patterns they dislike because they are familiar. Change introduces uncertainty, and uncertainty feels dangerous. But staying the same guarantees the same outcome. Comfort today often costs freedom tomorrow. Financial freedom also demands discipline when no one is watching. There is no boss enforcing long-term sinking. No paycheck rewarding patience. No applause for delayed gratification. This makes the journey lonely. Most people around you will not understand why you make different choices. Some will discourage you, not out of malice, but because your choices challenge their own beliefs. Education alone is not enough. Information is everywhere, yet action is rare. People consume content about money without applying it. They confuse learning with progress. Real change requires decisions that feel uncomfortable at first, like spending less than you earn even when you could spend more, or investing when results are not immediate. The environment matters too. If everyone around you lives paycheck to paycheck, it becomes normal. If debt is common, it feels unavoidable. Financial freedom often requires changing not just habits, but surroundings. Who you listen to, who you learn from, and what behavior you normalize shapes your outcomes more than motivation ever will. Healthcare costs also influence financial choices in America. Fear of losing insurance keeps many people locked into jobs they dislike. This fear-based decision-making prioritizes short-term security over long-term autonomy. Without a buffer or plan, freedom feels irresponsible, even when staying stuck is more dangerous. Another overlooked element is emotional spending. Stress, comparison, boredom, and validation drive many financial decisions. Purchases become coping mechanisms. This creates temporary relief, but long-term pressure. Until people address the emotional relationship with money, strategies alone won't work. Financial freedom is not about escaping work. It's about choosing meaningful work without financial pressure. It's about waking up with options instead of obligations. Most people never experience this because they confuse freedom with retirement. Something distant and uncertain, rather than a structure built gradually over time. The truth is harsh, but empowering. The system will not save you. Employers, governments, and institutions are designed to function efficiently, not to create individual freedom. Expecting them to do so leads to disappointment. Taking responsibility is uncomfortable, but it is the starting point of control. Those who become financially free think differently long before their bank accounts show it. They prioritize cash flow over appearances. They build skills that compound. They make decisions based on long-term impact, not short-term comfort. They accept temporary imbalance for future leverage. Most Americans will never be financially free, not because it is impossible, but because it requires going against the current. It requires questioning advice that sounds safe but keeps you dependent. It requires patience in a world obsessed with speed, and it requires courage to choose ownership over approval. Financial freedom is not a dream reserved for a few. It is a result of choices most people are unwilling to make consistently. And until that changes, the outcome will remain the same.